What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, let's talk about the term progression wall that is mostly used in MMORPGs. But before we start the video, do you have problems AFK grinding in ROX? Do you always worry that you may overcharge or the battery of your phone, tablet, or laptop may overheat? Do you worry about your electricity bill when grinding using your personal computer that is running for days non-stop? Or do you encounter intermittent connection from your internet service provider, which disconnects your character when AFK grinding? Well, if that is the case, then UgPhone can solve all of your problems. UgPhone is a cloud phone that runs independently in the cloud, and it does not consume the memory or battery of your physical device. Even if you close the UgPhone app, your game will still continue to run in the cloud, which makes this the perfect phone for AFK grinding for 24 hours, 7 days a week non-stop.
Nice.
You can also run multiple instances of UgPhone in one account, which allows you to play and grind multiple games simultaneously. As you can see, my Shura and Royal Guard are AFK grinding at the same time. UgPhone is available in Google Play for Android, App Store for iOS, Windows Store for PC, and you can also use a web browser to run UgPhone. So if you want to try out UgPhone, you can use my link shown in the description below. And you can also use my invitation code, which really helps me out. So thank you guys, and thank you UgPhone for the sponsor. Now let's get back to the video. So you guys might be wondering, where did I get this term progression wall? Well, last night, I was talking with some of my friends in our Discord, and this topic was brought up. For me personally, I think this term can be used in different gaming genres. When we were talking about this last night, this was specifically about an MMORPG. But before I get into more details, last night's conversation with my friends was very nostalgic. I mean, it gave me a glimpse of the good old days when there were no Discord, Messenger, Viber, or when mobile phones were not yet a thing. Gamers will go to computer shops and play all day and all night. When there is an internet connection or a blackout, gamers will just sit by the side of the street and talk games with one another. You really had a personal connection to other players back in the day. Man, I miss those days. If you compare it to the current state of gaming now, obviously gaming is much better now than before. But is there really a connection with other players? Most of the time, when you want to play with someone, regardless of whatever game you're going to play, people will just say, "Hey man, see you in the lobby in 5 minutes," or "We'll be in the Discord in a few minutes." It's really different, right? For those who have experienced what I was talking about earlier, let me know in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure if you know what I'm talking about, you know how it feels as well. But anyway, going back to our topic about the progression wall, I decided to make a video about this to see if you guys also feel the same way. Before I give my opinion about this topic, I just want to reiterate that this is just based on my personal opinion. If you agree or disagree, that's okay. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. At the same time, you can also share your personal opinion in the comment section below. Just be polite and be non-toxic, as this is one of the main goals of our channel, to have a healthy avenue for gaming conversations and a non-toxic gaming community. In addition to that, I will only talk about this topic from the perspective of a free-to-play in ROX. And yes, I will try to correlate this with ROX, since that is the game that I am currently playing. The reason why I will not look at the perspective of a pay-to-win is because I don't really think that there is a wall strong enough to block the powers of a credit card. As long as you have the money to top up, you can reach the maximum potential of your progression. Now, going back to the question, is there a progression wall in ROX? For me personally, I think this is a subjective question. A progression wall is dependent on the player's perspective, how they view their progression. I'm going to use myself as an example, especially since I am also an F2P. I don't really believe that there is a progression wall in ROX. The reason for this is because my definition of a progression wall is something that you cannot bypass. or a wall that you cannot climb or walk around. And if we look at the current progression system in ROX, especially the core progression, upgrading, enchantment, refining, shadow equipment, and divinities, all of these progression systems can be done by a free-to-play player. You want to know the common denominator for all of these progression systems for F2P players? Time. We can save up the materials that we need for all these progression systems, but it will take a lot of time. So basically, it's not really a wall that we cannot climb. It's more like a hill, or in ROX case, a mountain that we can climb, but it will take a lot of time. This is also the reason why I didn't include the pay-to-win perspective, as you can bypass time by spending more and more money in the game. Well, actually, this is basically the business model for most mobile games nowadays. If you don't have the time to play, just spend more money in the game. But for free-to-play players, we have to endure the grueling process of collecting materials, crafting materials, and then hope for the best that we succeed in our progression. That is why, from my point of view, there isn't really a wall that hinders my progress. It's just that I have to put a lot of time and effort in order for my character to progress. If you have been subscribed to my channel and have been watching my videos, I'm pretty sure that you've heard me say this in my older videos. I progress at my own pace. I don't rush anything, I just enjoy the game and go with the flow. Because the truth of the matter is, you cannot outprogress whales. And since the game has a lot of RNG, some players might progress faster than you. It all really depends on your luck in the game. That is why I always tell this to my viewers. Progress at your own pace and don't stress yourself out. Now, as I've mentioned before, the progression wall is a subjective term. What I've mentioned a few moments ago is my own opinion and perspective for this matter. Now let me give you another person's point of view. This is from my friend who brought up this topic last night. By the way, he also plays ROX, but his main problem is, he is having a hard time staying in one server. I always tease this guy and calls him an intro boy because he changes servers every 4 to 6 months. So I asked him, what is your definition of a progression wall? He answered, once he feels like the progression is becoming slower, that's the time when he gets bored and loses interest in the game. By the way, this guy is also an F2P like me. When he gave me that answer, I laughed because we've been playing the game for years now. And by now, you should understand that this is how the game is developed. In the early game, progression is fast, the materials are cheap, the success rates are high. But as you grow stronger and higher, the progression becomes slow, the materials become expensive, and the success rate goes down. That is why in the mid to late game, progression feels a lot slower. So again, this is just one example of how a person defines a progression wall. As you can see, we both have contrasting point of views. But I'm not really the type of person that will tell another grown person what to do. So my advice is to do what you want to do, and if that makes you enjoy the game more, then go for it. Of course, there are a lot of other definitions from other players as well. And that is what I want to hear from you guys. So let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that there is a progression wall in ROX for free-to-play players? Also, let me know if you want this type of content in the channel. It's more like a typical conversation from one gamer to another. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more ROX content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. GG!
You're a superhero.